Hello, my name is April, and the reason why I'm making this video is actually for my stepdaughter Riley. She recently turned 13 years old, and I want to give her some helpful advice for her teenage years. I understand that not everyone might agree with my advice, and people have different life experiences, but I hope that this will be actually helpful for some people out there. I was thinking, what would be the most important thing to tell her first? I would say, in your teenage years, you have a lot of distractions, and maybe, boys or friends or, drugs, alcohol, different things like that. But the number one thing that I want her to focus on is focus on yourself and focus on creating opportunities for yourself. Every young girl always wants to be a princess and always want to find Prince Charming. And I think the most important thing is, in order to find somebody special, you must be somebody special. And that means creating your life experiences, creating who you are. So if you want to have Prince Charming, I think that you first should focus on yourself and be a princess. I remember watching Shrek, and I thought it was so funny because when he rescued her from the tower, Fiona, I think after that, did some like karate chops or defended herself. And I thought it was funny because here she is waiting in a tower, waiting for her Prince Charming to come and rescue her. But she didn't do nothing during that time. Guess what? She taught herself something, and she created her image, her character. And that's what I like the most about that, the movie Shrek. And I'm thinking in life, it's just so many times as women, we want to have some great guy. We want to have somebody special in our lives, but we don't focus on ourselves. We don't create who we are. We don't have our own opinions. And I think that's the most important thing. Is I remember meeting this girl, and she was partying on the weekends, and she was, having her fun and doing this and that. And she was basically kind of a slug. She didn't have a job. She didn't do anything with her life. I mean, in my opinion. But here she was talking. She's like, oh, I want a great guy. How come I get all these jerks out there? And I hope that I finally meet somebody that's going to take care of me and be nice and be exciting. And I told her, I'm like, why don't you focus on yourself? Focus on creating who you are. And I understand that, you just turned 13, and finding Prince Charming is going to be a long, long, long way off, hopefully. But you just started high school. You're going to be starting high school eventually. And you turned 13 years old. And through that time, through your teenage years, those are the best years to have opportunity because you're young. And I hope that you're able to, take sports in school, maybe learn another language. Just take advantage of the opportunities while you're a teenager, because that's not going to happen again. I remember reading an article, and they say, before people die, they had a list of the 20 top things that people regret before they die. And I noticed on there that they had traveling, that they had learning another language, not learning an instrument, not maybe taking voice lessons or something like that. And it was sad to me because it's like those teenage years passed them by, and they got caught up with work, they got caught up with responsibility, they got caught up with having children, and they regret not doing those things. And I hope that you take the advantage and the opportunity through your teenage years to do the things that you love, to have experiences. Going back to meeting somebody and, meeting a Prince Charming, I remember texting your dad. That was before actually we hung out. He told me, I was texting him on a Saturday, and I was like, oh, what are you up to today? And he's like, oh, well, I'm taking my daughter on a bike ride, and we're going on a bike ride around the beach. And I was like, that's really interesting, because here's a person that works really hard all through the week, and he's still taking time to develop himself and spend time with you. And I just thought that was really exciting. I remember the second time we hung out, I actually told him, I'm like, well, I'll be going on the color run in Pomona. And he was like, okay, well, maybe we can hang out, So I texted him after I got done with the color run, and I showed up at his house with this powder all over me. I was just covered in all these different colors and this powder, and I was probably stained my clothes. And he looked at me, and I remember he reflected back and told me about it once. He was like, here's an interesting person. Here's somebody that's doing something exciting and, I'm still developing myself. I'm still giving myself life experiences. And these things create who we are. And your dad, I admire him and I'm very proud of him because he went in the military, he focused on school, he focused on creating a career for himself, and that's why I love him, because he is somebody special. And I focus on myself, and I hope that I am somebody special to him. But I just want you to focus on yourself, especially through your teenage years, and have the opportunity and the focus and create opportunity for yourself. I want you to be in track. I want you to have voice lessons. I want you to have as much experience as possible. And I hope that you create somebody special for yourself, because I want you to be an individual. I want you to be an independent woman, and I want you hopefully to meet somebody special someday as well. So I think for the first lesson, or for the first video, that's the most important lesson that you can learn right now, is focusing on yourself for the teenage years, and someday you can focus on boys and hopefully you meet somebody special then. Bye.